Mark, one of the common things you'll always hear sales directors say is it's a numbers game. Just keep bashing away, making the meetings, knocking on the doors and everything else. And of course in your book you say, no, that's one of the sales myths. It's absolutely not a numbers game. So, I mean, on one level, of course, if you have 10 opportunities, you've got more chance of getting something than if you've got 7 opportunities. So on one level, well, of course it's a numbers game. So perhaps you can explain a little bit more about where you're coming from with that.
And absolutely, I've been there. You know, I've had the job where I'm trying to cold call out of the phone book, and if you start at Smith's, there are a lot of Smiths to get through. The reality is, a friend of mine once said to me, someone I respect an awful lot in sales, he said, the shortest sales manual in the world is know your product, believing it, speak to lots of people, and ask them all to buy. Now, I 100% believe in that, however, with the slight difference, speak to lots of the right people. Because actually it's hard work just looking for needles in haystacks. The reality is it goes back to your value proposition. So what is it that we sell? What is it that we are trying to help companies do? And who are the companies that have that compelling need for what we do? Therefore then target those people. Don't just randomly phone lots of people. Yes, it helps if we're phoning now the right people and we phone up lots of those. But the reality is we should be more targeted. We should understand our value proposition and who it will help.
And interesting enough, do you think that in today's world where we have so many technologies to help us with that, and I don't mean understanding your customer something else, but I mean being able to use things like mining databases on LinkedIn and looking at Twitter and looking at influencers and those kind of other things, to what extent do you think salespeople should be utilising these platforms to be able to identify prospects and just be a bit more intelligent with the people that they approach?
It comes back to what are they selling? You know, who are the customers that will be buying your product? Now, the world has changed. Therefore, previously it would be a cold calling session with a telephone with a phone book. Now, of course, there's lots of places to identify these opportunities. But the same old rules still apply. It's customers buy when a compelling need is met by a credible solution that offers perceived value. That is it. So whether the medium is through LinkedIn or whether it's through Facebook or Twitter or just some telesales team bashing the phones, the same rules apply. So get your value proposition right and then utilize the marketing channels, but not the other way around. Don't market if you haven't got the product right.
Yeah, I agree with that. But when we're looking at saying it's not a numbers game, then surely the way you take the numbers out of it is by targeting in a more intelligent way. So assuming you do know the value proposition, is targeting in an intelligent way. And I suppose in my own life, going around sales teams and going around, I don't think salespeople are utilising the new opportunities they have to target in a smarter way and use their time more effectively. Using digital channels. So assuming, yeah, the value proposition, I know who the customers are, but it's easier to perhaps identify and find them now in a more intelligent way than it was 20, 30 years ago when you might only just have a cold database. Is that something you find in your experience? Do you find that salespeople are utilising those channels well?
I think there's a lack of education, and I think that more and more people are now getting into social media. The reality is that's changing constantly. So, you know, the laggards amongst us are being sort of dragged through this process. I still do believe, though, marketing alone, and obviously an expert in marketing, you'll have your opinion, but marketing alone will not do it. It's, if you were my brother, would I recommend you to my product? If I can't get that right, then no amount of channel marketing will help me. So that's what I mean by it's not a numbers game. It's if I don't have a product that you want, no amount of me contacting those people, whether it be through advertising, whether it be through LinkedIn, or whether it be through making a telephone call, is going to help.